Cheer, getting everything going here, guys. Welcome back. It's your man Greg Lennox here with another WNBA podcast here for today's Thursday, August 7th, 2025. Sharing my screen here, getting everything going. Sorry, running a few minutes late here today, guys. Da-dun. Here we go, sharing the screen. We got something coming up. Sorry the date's wrong, but I got to get it going here. So, it is a little late here. I try to get it going at 5 o'clock today, guys. It's 5:15. If you're with me, go ahead and hit that like button and get some good vibes going out there. Keeping it rocking and rolling, guys. We got our first tip off tonight at 6 o'clock. So we'll talk about that game here in just a moment. And our other two games are a little bit later at 8 o'clock tonight. So give us a little bit of time to talk about those good betting angles and things to look at here in just a few minutes. All right, jumping into our first business here. Let's see if I can. All right. Only gave out picks on Tuesday night. We had a nice card. I don't think there were any games on Monday night. So Tuesday, definitely like the dogs on that. I just thought, like, when I read those, I disagreed with the line makers there. So I took the dogs with the points, and then I didn't put that on Twitter, but right as the that Sky game, like right before it got started, the announcement of Brittany Sykes getting traded really threw a wrench into the Mystics. So I watched that live and did bet on the Sky live. So Tuesday was good. Yesterday on Wednesday was just a one game slate. I honestly usually stay away from a one game slate situation. It's usually not a best time to bet on stuff. Maybe throw a little bit if you know. I don't think it's fun to lose money. So no, I didn't bet anything yesterday, guys. But we got a 3-game slate to look at today. I'm excited about. I got one parlay we put together. The parlay I gave you guys last week went 3-3, so only half of it hit. So that was a dud. But we got a nice 4-legger here today for the Fever game. We'll give you guys at the end of the show. We'll try to keep this about 20 to 30 minutes and give you all the intel that I got going on here today, guys. So let's go ahead and jump on into our first game tonight. We are looking at the Dream visiting the Sky. So we got a lot going on here, and I want to double check here as well. Let's make sure I got everything running the way it should be. Looks okay. It looks okay, guys. I want to just double check the injury report because sometimes these change, kind of throughout the day here. So I'm bringing that up real quick just so what I'm reading off my paper here is accurate. Is things happen in the afternoon here. So Atlanta Dream, yeah, those look accurate. And Chicago Sky, those are accurate as well. Okay. So keeping it rocking and rolling here, guys. We were looking at the Dream and the Sky tipping off at 6 o'clock tonight. We got a big injury list, so let's cover that real fast. Then we'll talk about previous matchups. We'll talk about where the money is on the game and also any trends that we notice here. So jumping on into it, the injury report is not looking that great for either team. The Atlanta Dream is going to be short. We got Caldwell, Griner, Howard, and Theory is day to day. So we got a couple, prime players there that ain't going to be playing today, which maybe they're just out as I don't know. Brittany's Griner actually got ejected from that game and then was out the next game. And so I feel like the Dream feel like they can maybe let these players rest a little bit more that, because it's not a tough competition tonight, as the Chicago Sky are going to be without Angel Reese, Vandersloot, Ariel Atkins, Van Leith, and Michaela Onware. So without Reese and without Atkins, the Chicago Sky have been terrible. I think have lost pretty much every game. The last game, the Chicago Sky did win. I mentioned I feel it was really because the Mystics just right that day in the afternoon before game started. Sykes got traded and gave this guy the advantage. And also Atkins did play that game as well, so they had somebody to orchestrate. This line opened up today, or not today, but opened up probably a day or two ago at a -8. You can get a -10.5 on the Atlanta Dream, as we'll double check, but it looks like probably all the money is going in on the Dream. I know a lot of people like the over on the Dream team total as well, as Chicago, again, has just been pretty terrible. They haven't been able to figure it out without some key players in the lineup this season. And they're going on several games now without Angel Reese and potentially going to be giving up their playoff potential of making the playoffs, which that kind of, are they just going to kind of whiff the season at this point? And I definitely like the Dream double digits to win tonight against the Sky. I have not put that bet in yet, but that's the way I would lean. If we look at previous matchups this season, the Atlanta Dream have dominated every time, sometimes winning by more than 30 points. So the Atlanta Dream, they played against 3 times already this season, and they've just smacked them around every time. There was one game that was a 13-point win, then an 18-point win, then like a 30-something point win. So yes, I definitely like the Atlanta Dream to win by double digits tonight. Anything else I noticed? And then we'll get into where the money is, and then we'll move into our next game tonight. And usually when I got double digit ATS spread, I don't look at player props in that game. I look at player props when we got a lot closer, definitely single digits, but I'm looking at a 5-6 point spread. Even when you got a 1-2 point spread, those are those player prop. Those are the games I like to look at for player props, guys. So I don't have anything on player props on this game, as I could be a blowout. Then they people then sometimes the whole like the books are rigged almost sometimes, like, oh, they don't want to lose all their money on, but let's go ahead and double check. Yeah, Dream. And where is the money? We are looking at a handle of $383,000, and this is spread out amongst the money line spread and the total. We're going to focus on the spread, and we have I feel like because I feel like it should be like almost 90 or 100% on the spread. We got only 64% of money on the Dream on the spread. In my mind, I'm going right now, and we're going to get down on it, as Michael Fiddle would say. And I'm getting down on the Dream, guys, right now. Like I said, if it was super skewed one way, I would probably stay with it. But 60%, 70% public situation, and go ahead and get a unit on this before the tip off. A little bit of time to buy me here. Go down and we're gonna put one game, I guess. I don't know if I got plays for you. I'll give you some leans, but definitely like the Dream -10.5. I don't have it in my pocket yet, guys, but I'll be getting that on one of these sports books here, whoever will give me that 10.5 here in the next half hour. So let's go ahead and check out our next game tonight. And double check my studio here, make sure it's all peaches and cream. Let's see. Oh yeah, sorry. Where are we? There it goes. StreamYard. Oh, sorry. Hide that. And there's my studio. Checking it out real quick. Okay, looks like we're broadcasting okay. Hit that like button, guys. Throw a comment in the box here. What you like, what you're going to play tonight, what looks good to you. Next game tonight is getting into the Connecticut Sun, visiting the LA Sparks. This line opened up at minus 10.5, favoring the Sparks. They did just win against the Fever as projected dogs. And the current spread right now is still about a 10.5. But I can get a minus 10 right now. So the line hasn't moved that much, but maybe some money has come in on the Sun, which I couldn't blame them. It just kind of feels like the right spot, to be honest. I did play the Sparks on the last game, and it just feels right to fade them on this game. That a lot of people, like the public, will just be like, "Oh, they just beat the Fever," and now I'm just going to go with them. This is a lot of points they got to cover. This is a lot of points they have to cover, and the Sun have stepped up since All-Star Weekend. They have performed a little better. They have been covering spreads. I think they were covering spreads a little bit before that too. But when you're being projected as double-digit dogs, I'm not exactly sure what the line is here. Let me see what we can find here. So, surprisingly, the Sun have covered the last 7 out of 10 games. Straight up records only 5-23 this season. They've lost their last 16 out of 19 games, but they've been covering almost 70% of the time. Checking out our Sparks trends, they winning 7 of their last 8 games straight up and climbing back into the playoff picture since All-Star Weekend. They got Cameron Brink back in the lineup. She, I think, had a record-breaking game last performance against the Fever with 5 blocks and dominating. So she's looking back comfortable on the court. So I still like I was saying here, it just feels I haven't put anything on this game. I don't know if I'm going to. We're going to look at the handle here in a second, but I kind of am leaning towards taking the points with the Suns. I think the Sparks take care of business and they get the win, but I think it's going to be closer than a double-digit win. Let's look into where the money is on this game tonight, guys. We are talking about the Fever. No, not the Fever. We'll do that one next. Looking forward to talking about the Fever with you guys. But right now, the first 8 o'clock game we're talking about is the Sun versus the Sparks. And checking out the handle, we got $424,000 on this game we're looking at. And again, that's spread out between the money line, the spread, and the total. But focusing on the spread, we have 63% of the money on the Sparks. Let's double check that. No, my mistake. 63% of the money on the Sun. So public has been taking the points here. That's probably why I kind of moved from 10.5 to 10. I think it kind of started moving. And last I checked, right before we started the show, there's some 9.5s out there. So the public is saying, "Hey, Sun, I lean that way." I don't think I'm going to make it to the books here, guys, with this one, as I do as well see the Spark side of this, that they have Cameron Brink back. They have that playoff potential. They're playing one of the weakest teams in the league. Sun have been covering 70% of their game. I just don't have any advantage to this line, but I would lean with the dog in this scenario and check out the Connecticut Sun there. I don't, again, when I got a double-digit ATS, I am not looking at player props usually, unless there's something significant on the injury list. And so we're going to move on to our last game today. I'm going to get into player props on our last one here. And we are going to be talking about the last matchups. Let's real quick look at the last matchups here with the Sun and the Sparks. Sparks beat them both times, but you can see the last time they played off, it was only by 4 points. Before that, they did win by 15. So I think, yeah, definitely the Sparks win. if you want to put the money line, in a parlay, in a long parlay, I don't know what the money line is, but I don't like a minus 300, minus 400. So again, this is just a game I'm not that interested in, as I kind of like the Sparks too much right now, and I don't want to try to fade them. But if I had to choose, I would probably go with the dogs taking the points. Let's get into our last game of tonight. We're talking about the Fever versus the Mercury. Well, they've only matched up one time this season, and it was about a week ago. They played in Feverville, and the Indiana Fever did win 107-101. They got that home court advantage. I think they have a better, let me see if I can look that up real quick. I think they have a better home court advantage than away. Let me see here. Checking out Fever versus Mercury starting at 8 o'clock. And I'm on the West Coast here in Mountain Time, guys. So it might be starting earlier in your area, or later, I guess. My bad. Checking it out here. All right. Away this season against the spread, the Indiana Fever have covered 50% of the time. That's 8-8. The Phoenix, when they have been home, they have covered 9 out of 5. So Fever do play better at home, it looks like. Underdogs, when Fever have been projected underdogs this season, they have won 8 games, lost 4 times. So that's 12 games total. They've been projected underdogs, and they win 8-4. And when the Mercury are projected favorites, they have won 10 out of 18 times. So they've won 10, lost 8. So both of these teams look pretty good in their position. The only difference I would have to say, besides like kind of all this data looks good, besides Mercury do have a better home record than Indiana's away record. Last 10, like since All-Star break, the Fever are 6-4, and the Mercury is 5-5. I think the Mercury kind of had a real slow start coming back from All-Star break. One more statistic I want to give you here is after a loss this season, the Fever have gone 7-5. So after a loss, they have won 7 games, but lost 5 games. So there's a little edge there that they are covering the spread. Let's dive in real quick to our injury report and make sure we are not missing anything there. As you should know, Caitlin Clark is out, and we will hope she is getting better, as the Fever have been holding it down, but it's fun to watch the whole team play together. But Mercury, we got nobody on the injury list. They look like they got the whole squad, and also like Bonner had a decent, like, okay game last time they played out, and I'm sure you're aware, like, she was on the Fever in the beginning of the season, and that it just like didn't pan out. Like, she just didn't fit in, and they ended up trading her, or whatever the situation was, dropping her, and then she got picked up by the Merc. So I feel like there's that kind of element as well, that like Bonner wants to, multi-time All-Star WNBA player, kind of wants to prove herself. I did not pick a player prop for her tonight, but now talking about it, I'm like, maybe I should have thrown something on the parlay there, as it's kind of a good time for her to show out and show she can play ball still. This line opened up at -6.5 for the Merc. A lot of people jumped on that for the Fever, taking the plus points at +6.5, obviously. This line is now at -4.5 for the Merc. I still like the plus points with the Fever, as I kind of pointed out a couple trends there that sound a little sweeter than the Mercury. It's still kind of seems like a Mercury spot. They play better at home than on the road. And both of these teams, like they both play good when one's dog. They play good when one's a favorite. They play good. Let's see anything else we notice here. The Mercury have covered the last 3 out of 5 games against the spread. Their overall ATS record is 16-13. When playing at home, they have an ATS record of 9-5. The Indiana Fever ATS record is 17-14, covering the spread. On the road, we talked about 50%, 50-50, covering 8 and losing 8. And keeping it rocking here, we got one more little bit of information. Dun, dun, dun. And because of Clark's injury, the initial line was probably inflated a little bit too much, but the Fever have been holding it down without Caitlin Clark. So this is another line I'm going to go with the dog, even though the line is maybe not at the best as it opened up at 6.5. But a lot of the times those lines move real fast. If you got DraftKings, you can get on those. That's where you can usually get the line when it opens. But you need to be paying attention a day or two before the game even starts to catch those lines when they're opening. Sometimes when you're watching the games one night, you can kind of catch them for the next day, but you got to have kind of already done your research or just kind of see it and recognize that's the time to capitalize. Let's go ahead and get into our parlay picks for today and run down the why. And I did print it out, but it's in my printer in the other room. I might run and grab it real quick, guys. So I give you the rundown. So stay with me 1 second here. Run out the room, grab that, so I can give you the information on why I had these parlay picks. A couple of them are just like right off the top of my head. I can explain it to you, but the other two, I want to give you the stats and the data behind it, as I already looked it up. And so hold on real quick. Hit that like button. Put your comments down below. What's your favorite ATS game today on the W? And I'll be right back, guys. All right. Thanks for hanging in there for me, guys. Let's go ahead and check out our parlay for today. I'm going to share with you guys our last one. We went half and half, a 3 for 3. We got a 4-legger for today. And I'm liking the Fever players, and I am going to be taking that plus 4.5 on the Fever, guys. I don't have it in my pocket yet, but I'm about to go write these up here or, sign off on them here on a sports book here in just a minute, seeing which sports book I can get the best line at what I got here on the banner going across the screen. Let's go ahead and get into our picks for today for Underdog. We got a 4-legger here at times 10 or 10 point something. Our first leg, we got Aaliyah Boston over her points, rebounds, and assists. Aaliyah Boston's all around been amazing. She got, I think, Eastern Player of the Week last week in the W. She's been stepping up big time since Caitlin's been out. She got MVP on the Commissioner Cup. She's covered this line in 60% of her last 5 games, averaging 30.4 combined PRAs. But where this gets sweet is she has the Mercury ranks 9th against her position in this group, which is in the bottom half of the W. And with Clark out, she just seems to continually keep stepping up and putting this team on her shoulders. So we're starting off with Aaliyah Boston, points, rebound, assists, going over 28.5. And then you can see I got Sophie and I got McDonald next here over the points. These ladies keep stepping up with Caitlin Clark out as well. I might go in here and kind of look a little sweeter as these girls' lines are in my mind, too low. And usually lately in the last week or so, one of these girls have been getting 15 or 20 points in a game. And so I might throw something on a ladder play on one of these girls or take them for like 15 points. The other game I took McDonald for 15 points, but you know who got it was Sophie. But I think was at like plus 300 or plus 400 when her line is at 10. To get like 2 more baskets at a 15, you see what I'm saying? That line goes from a minus 110 to a plus 300. It's like a no-brainer. So I might be looking at some ladder plays here in a minute as I got some time. That game doesn't start for almost 2.5 hours. So I like both those ladies go over their points. And our last one, I got Alyssa Thomas, points, rebounds, and assists. And she has gone over this line in 60% of her last 5 games. But where it gets sweeter is she has covered this 100% of the time against the Fever. So she averages for the season 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists, which is over the line we're looking at right now, 32.5. And when she, where was I? And with Caitlin Clark out for the Fever, that should amplify her potential in being able to get all this points, rebounds, and assists. The Fever are ranked 6th in defense against her position, which is kind of right in the middle of the road. So we got 13 teams in the W. And with Thomas's role as their primary offensive unit, the playmaking will happen. So that's pretty much the business I got written down here for today. So we got our underdog slip up here, guys. Go ahead and hit that like button, and please follow on Twitter, as it's a lot easier for me to post up some Twitter plays versus making a video and running this spiel here. So again, hit that like button, subscribe, check me out on Black Cat Parlay or at Black Cat Parlay at Twitter on X. Hey guys, it's been a good time. I think maybe we'll have to do a weekend show. Maybe come out here on Saturday with you and check out some lines here. So I gotta honestly look at the schedule and see when the next good slate is here. I always love a 3-game slate. The ones on the weekend, sometimes they start super early. So if we got a 5-game slate, I might be able to come on here and cover the evening games or kind of the afternoon and evening games. I ain't going to be getting up super early to cover these AM games on the weekend, guys. So definitely subscribe so you catch the next episode, guys. It's been your man Gregory Lennox here at Black Cat Parlay on the Scratch. Again, thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Let's collect and cash those tickets here today, guys. See you next time, guys. Peace out. Cheer. Cheer. Yeah. See if I can scroll on over to the end here. Peace out, guys. Good luck tonight, whatever you bet.